Rob Stats Career here with you from the Gold Standard 49ers Podcast Network. Hope you're doing well. Wanted to try a new vertical live stream here on YouTube, so giving it a shot. Don't know how it's going to go, but here we go. The 49ers are in free agency like every other team, and they have taken some losses so far. A lot of their free agents have gone to other teams, Jalen Moore and Elijah Mitchell, most notably going to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's not fun for the Niners, right? They can't beat the Chiefs without those guys. Now Kansas City's going to add insult to injury by beating the Niners over the head with their own players the next time they play. That's not necessarily going to be fun, but ultimately I think the Niners were smart. Jalen Moore got $30 million from Kansas City. Niners were not going to be able to pay that for him. Elijah Mitchell, the Niners saw as good as he was, it just wasn't working with Elijah Mitchell, unfortunately. It just wasn't working. He was always hurt. He couldn't even get out of week one without getting hurt. And it sucks because he's a good player when he's healthy, but he's not healthy, like ever, pretty much. So the 49ers couldn't do it. By the way, let me know how you feel about any of these deals that happened with the Niners, or I should say players leaving the Niners. Love to have your comments in the chat as well. So Elijah Mitchell and Jalen Moore go to Kansas City. That hurts. Another one for the Niners, Talanoa Hufanga. It's not finalized yet, but it looks like he's going to go to Denver. They're hosting him anyway. Twitter has been on the fritz today, so it's kind of hard to keep up with the news. So I'm on Twitter and I'm on Blue Sky. I'm trying to figure it out. But it looks like Talanoa Hufanga is going to leave the 49ers for Denver. So that's no fun for San Francisco. That's another hole in the safety room that they are going to have to replace next season. Right now, it looks like Malik Mustafa and Jair Brown, which, I don't know, does that fill you with the warm and fuzzies? Doesn't really make me feel particularly great, but, you know, this is the ruthless sort of calculus that the 49ers have to do, right? We heard the whole thing from Jed York about how they don't want to spend a lot of cash. You know, they're trying to be smarter with their spending and all that stuff. Usually that means you sit out sort of the first wave of free agency. But these are real losses that the 49ers are going to have to replace. And let's be honest, even with these guys, especially on the defensive side, the defense stunk last year. They were 18th against the run. They gave up the second most rushing touchdowns in the entire NFL. So yeah, it's a little rough for the 49ers right now in free agency. They are feeling it. They also have not reached a contract with Dre Greenlaw. Now, I've been looking. I haven't seen, I know teams are interested, but I haven't seen any news about him so far. So that's a good sign. They really want him back. Matt Barrows has described it as a full court press, is the actual quote that Matt Barrows used about Dre Greenlaw and getting him back to the 49ers. I'm trying to check some of your comments here. The 49ers better have 30 draft picks. Yeah, Dre Carabay, I know, man. Look, they have 11, right? And they're going to need him. I really do think that this is an incredibly important draft class for the 49ers because they have a lot of holes to fill, and they're not spending money. They're not going to spend money. So the only way to fill your needs then is to do it during the draft. So these 11 picks, or at least that's what they have right now is 11 picks, going to be very, very meaningful for the 49ers for sure. So April is going to be a very important month for San Francisco. Also, some names that maybe you thought the 49ers might be interested in, they didn't go to San Francisco. DJ Jones looks like he's going back to Denver. That's a spot on the defensive line the Niners would have loved to fill. DJ Reed, potential corner that the Niners would love to have back, another former Niner. He is going to Detroit. So that is not happening. That's another sort of player that the Niners, or at least Niners fans, I should say, had their eye on. And unfortunately, not going to have a reunion there with Robert Saleh. You thought that really might have been a match, but unfortunately, no. Yeah, ESPN is reporting the Broncos are close to a deal with Talanoa Hufanga. Maybe, Mayoko says maybe the Jets restricted free agent Ashton Davis could be a possibility, but, you know, certainly not the A on the list. And that's sort of the way that all NFL teams do it, right? You have the free agents up in your office. You have the list of all the players you want. Here's all the safeties. Here's all the corners. Here's whatever. Number one, you start talking with that guy. That guy comes off the board, boom, you go to the next guy on the list, and you keep trying to make a move. And these things go fast, man. So you got to be able to be prepared to move quickly. I know the legal tampering period began today. That's a bunch of crap. They've been tampering for days, and clearly we know this because a lot of guys already have deals just hours into the legal tampering period. And it doesn't look like the 49ers are a big player right now, unfortunately. one of the surprise contracts of the day is a former 49er. Javon Kinlaw got paid by the Commanders $30 million guaranteed. It's actually a $45 million deal, $30 million guaranteed with the Commanders. And that's Adam Peters, right? I think we now know who really wanted the Niners to take Javon Kinlaw. Clearly that was an Adam Peters move. Did not work out in San Francisco. They're letting go of Jonathan Allen in Washington and bringing in Javon Kinlaw. So that should tell you something. Like, how much should the 49ers really want Jonathan Allen if Washington is willing to let him go and replace him with Javon Kinlaw, a guy who we know cannot stay healthy, right? Has not been able to stay healthy for the most part in his career. So maybe that scares you off from Jonathan Allen a little bit. Yorks are not paying this year, Ewok says. 49ers do not prioritize offensive line, Corey Coleman says. JM617, Niners are poor. They're acting poor. They certainly are. And that was the message. They got that message out at the Combine. John Lynch literally said, oh, we've been spending cash and all this. We've been first in cash spending, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, great, whatever. They're acting poor. Whether they are poor or not, they're acting that way. And so what that means is free agency is not really going to be a huge boon for the 49ers, so to speak. The question is, what do they do, if anything? Right now, they haven't done anything. Obviously, we know this is going to stretch for multiple days, and we'll see. But right now, they're just taking the punches, right? Talanoa Hufanga, ooh, gone. Ah, damn, okay. Elijah Mitchell, that's a little bit of a jab. Damn, okay, he's gone. Jalen Moore, a guy I think they really hope to bring back. Boom, he's gone. And that's, oh, hold on. I just saw something from Omar Kelly that Steph Sanchez retweeted. The Dolphins are bidding for Dre Greenlaw, which means the price will rise. Okay, so there you go. That's another guy the Niners really wanted back was Dre Greenlaw. They're going to have to fight for him now, it looks like. And the Dolphins may muck up the 49ers' plans a little bit because Tim Kawakami also said, hey, the Niners look like they're going to bring in Joey Bosa. But also, we're hearing the Dolphins might get involved with Joey Bosa. So the Dolphins may be screwing up the 49ers' plans. Mike McDaniel's messing with Kyle Shanahan, his old boss, a little bit. If they're going after Greenlaw and Joey Bosa, two guys the 49ers definitely wanted back. I'm not surprised that Greenlaw, he wants to be out there, basically. He wants to run his own shop, is what Matt Barrows said. He's never hit free agency before. I'm sure the 49ers said, hey, go see what's out there and we'll come back and then we can work it out. But, it's not a bad look. Go to Miami, play in Miami for Joey Bosa. I think that's where he and Nick both live. So there's an attraction to that part of the country. No taxes. Not going to, it's a little something. So that's something to keep in mind. Miami is a significant bidder, I think, for Joey Bosa and for Dre Greenlaw. Let's see if I can read a couple more comments. I got to figure out a way to do this so I can read the comments better. Is this Instagram or YouTube? This is YouTube. If Bosa wants to play with his brother, he should make it happen, even if it was a cheap deal. Yeah, I understand that. By the way, if you're new to the Gold Standard, thank you. Check us out. We're live every single weekday on not on the Shorts feed. Usually we're live on the main feed. We do news updates that come out every weekday morning. We do a live show every weekday afternoon. Please give us a like, give us a subscribe. I promise you, we will make you a better, smarter fan. You will like what you see and hear. So that is pretty much the latest with the 49ers, which is kind of like nothing. It's pretty much the latest. They haven't moved. I haven't even seen them mentioned as a serious bidder for anybody, really, to be honest with you. And maybe they have their guys that they're going to go after later, but I think the more likely scenario is with what John Lynch said, given the comments, and given how they keep telling everybody how they're mad about all the spending, I wouldn't expect major splashes from San Francisco. I really wouldn't. I think they want to just draft guys and try to build it back up that way, which, that doesn't say much for 2025. Maybe the Niners can get lucky. They are coming off arguably their best draft class in years, quite frankly. So maybe they can replicate that, right? Maybe they can do it again and do build this thing back up. But, the draft is very much a gamble. So it's very difficult to do it that way. The Niners did it once. Can they do it again? We will see. What is this now? The Rams are signing Poona Ford to a 3-year deal. Rams, man, we should talk about that for a little bit. The NFC West is changing in a big way. Geno Smith, gone, right? DK Metcalf, gone to Pittsburgh. Devontae Adams, hello, come on down to LA and join the Rams. If you don't think Sean McVay is going to get him the football, he's going to know exactly how to use Devontae Adams. The Rams are going to be a problem. I think the Seahawks are taking a step back. The Cardinals haven't done anything big right now. I personally don't consider them that great, although they did beat the 49ers last year. So, you got to give them credit for that. But as long as Kyler Murray is there, I can't take them seriously. So there's opportunity there in the NFC West for the Niners. They're going to have a last place schedule. Like, if they can just plug some of these holes, the NFC West is a very, very winnable division. And we have seen with Kyle Shanahan, just get into the playoffs and who knows? You got as good a shot as anybody because Kyle Shanahan has won multiple games in the playoffs every time he's been there. In fact, he's done it, I think, 4 times in a row, which is the record. Kyle has the record. So he has shown the season begins anew when you get in the playoffs. So just get in and anything can happen. And the 49ers are going to have an opportunity to do that. Absolutely going to have an opportunity to do that. It's just, it's hard right now when you see, the Patriots are signing Milton Williams to a free agent contract. And the Chiefs are getting Elijah Mitchell and Jalen Moore and DJ Reed's going to Detroit. Like, we've seen other playoff teams make moves already. And with the 49ers, it's like, do something. Come on. And so far, they haven't. Let's see. Nick Mullins just got a nice little deal with the Jags. 2 years, $6.5 million with $3 million guaranteed. There you go. Man, Kyle Shanahan's getting guys paid. Jimmy Garoppolo just got an $11 million contract with the Rams. Woo, man. If I was a quarterback, I would find a way to play with Kyle Shanahan because it'll keep you in this league for a long, long time. Let's see. The Steelers have released Larry Ogunjobi. All right. A couple guys I'd like to see the 49ers go after. Azeez Ojulari. I would absolutely like that. He's not going to be too expensive. I think he could be a nice piece. There's no one guy they're going to get unless they somehow trade for Trey Hendrickson. But other than that, there's no real one guy that you're going to get on the defensive line and say, oh, that's it. Oh, Ian Rappaport says the Seahawks have their new quarterback, and it is Sam the Man. Sam Darnold, a 3-year deal worth close to $100 million. The NFC West is a changing, as I said. We're going to get an up-close picture of Sam Darnold. I mean, look, he's had his way with the 49ers with the Vikings last year. Like, it was clear. They had no problem moving the ball against the 49ers. Now, will he do the same thing in Seattle? I don't know. He had Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. He's got Clint Kubiak now in Seattle. We'll see. But that's the guy the Niners are now going to have to face twice a year is Sam Darnold, as he apparently is going to the Seahawks. Again, this according to Tom Pelissero. 3-year deal worth close to $100 million. Now, again, the devil's in the details. We don't know the guarantees or any of that. How do you feel about having to play Sam Darnold twice a year, huh? Let's check some of the comments. The players the 49ers lost can be replaced. Patrick Lucero, that's true. They are free agents for a reason. Kyle doesn't like playing rookies. Yeah, that's true. But I think that may have to change because, let's be honest, they don't have any other option. Just like they didn't have any option last year where the rookies played more than 1,000 snaps. So I think that Kyle's not going to have a choice because he's not going to have anywhere else to go, basically. I mean, the 49ers haven't done anything. I had heard that a couple of things were cooking for the Niners, basically, like possibly a new receiver. Maybe Tyler Lockett could have been in the fold. Obviously, I haven't seen anything, but, there is a first wave and a second wave of free agency. And so today is like, the big deals get made, the flashy deals, the Sam Darnold type of deal, all that stuff. And then we sit back and we see some guys come in later that could end up making a difference. But yeah, that's the big news right now. Sam Darnold, bam, going to Seattle. So they clearly had a plan, right? Obviously they knew. Ship Geno out. We'll take the 3rd round pick. We'll get Sam Darnold back. Did they upgrade? I don't know. It's a little, maybe. I don't know what Sam Darnold is. Do the Seahawks have the same kind of elite level coaching that Minnesota has? Because I think Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach. And if Seattle has that, then I think Darnold showed last year he can be a very functional quarterback. But if they don't, we've also seen what Sam Darnold can be when he doesn't have that. And it's really, really bad. So I think the key for the 49ers will be assuming that the Seahawks, if they have a decent level of coaching, the Niners have to get pressure on him. We saw in the playoffs last year. You get pressure on Sam Darnold, he sees ghosts, and it is bad. And he kind of collapsed on the back half of the year last year. And so that's what the Niners are going to have to do. They're going to have to get pressure, which is why you would want them to draft defensive linemen or trade for Trey Hendrickson or both, or but they're going to have to restock along the defensive line. They're letting Malik Collins, go. Not official yet because they're going to try and trade him, but they're going to get rid of him by the start of the new league year. That leaves Evan Anderson and Kalia Davis and Jordan Elliott as the Niners defensive tackles. Does that fill you with the warm and fuzzies? Doesn't fill me with the warm and fuzzies. So they're going to have to reload along that defensive line for sure. Getting Joey Bosa would be a piece of that, a small part of that. The good news is it sounds like the Niners know that Joey Bosa is just a rotational player at this point, which is good because you don't want them to sign him and go, oh, okay, we're done. That would be very, very bad. But it sounds like they're realistic about that. So at least that is good. The Vikings are signing tight end Johnny Munt. Oh, no. Former Vikings tight end Johnny Munt went to Jacksonville. Okay, sorry. Yeah, this is a good point from Joe Shad. Do you like Geno Smith at $40 to $45 million a year or Sam Darnold at $33 million a year? That's a fair trade for the Seahawks. But, if you're a Seahawks fan, are you super stoked about Sam Darnold? I mean, I'm not. Nick Wagner just tweeted, the former 49ers quarterback news everyone was waiting for. Nick Mullins to the Jaguars. That's just mean. But that's it from the 49ers perspective, really. We haven't seen them linked to anyone, haven't heard about them linked to anyone. The only time the 49ers have gotten mentioned is when one of their players that was a free agent has left them so far today. Now, it's only 2:30 Eastern time, so we still got time, clearly. But right now, it's sort of all quiet on the Western Front, unfortunately. How are you feeling about all this? Let's check some more of the comments. We have more holes than Swiss and draft picks. We have to do something. Yeah, I get it. Let's see. Andre says that's when Parag will make his move and bring in a special teams gunner. Yeah. It's interesting. It's a new day with the 49ers. It's a transition time. Jed is taking control. He's taking control away from Kyle. That's, historically with the 49ers, I'll say this. When Jed York has gotten involved, they've been bad. The more Jed York has gotten involved, the worse the 49ers have been on the field. That is not opinion. That is a fact. And it seems like he's getting involved more now, so we could be entering into a new era, unfortunately, for the 49ers. But that's where things stand. Elijah Mitchell, gone to the Chiefs. Jalen Moore, gone to the Chiefs. Talanoa Hufanga, not confirmed, but looks like he's going to be going to Denver. Dre Greenlaw, very, very much up in the air. Niners in the picture. Dolphins in the picture. We'll see. Joey Bosa, Dolphins in the picture for that. Niners in the picture, but nothing confirmed, nothing official either way. So we just have to sit and wait. I will be live on the regular channel, not the vertical stream, regular stream with Vish Kumaran. We usually do it 5 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be live tonight. We'll react to all this news. We'll break it all down for you. Please give us a like and a subscribe. If you're new to the Gold Standard, please check us out. I'm on all the socials at Stats on Fire. If you want to follow me there, I'm very active on all the socials. So please hit me up. Thanks for joining. Again, bear with me. This is my first YouTube vertical live stream. Don't even know if I'm doing it right, but hopefully you got something out of it. Thank you so much. And we'll be back later tonight, again, 5 p.m. Pacific time to break it all down. Free agency. Hopefully, we have some 49ers news by then. Thanks, everybody.